look, that mountain in front of me looks like it has a heart in it. Here's a better view of it. It's kind of cooler when you could see beneath it, you know? Okay, I'm gonna tell you a bit about my path through experimentation with Mahasi Vipassana meditation. The original Mahasi Vipassana meditation is about focusing on you know, a single object, usually the rise and fall of your stomach with your breath, and noting other emotions that come up, as well as, you know, perhaps wherever your attention goes. The first thing I kind of played around from, you know, deviated from the norm and such. The first thing I did was, while on a bike, drop the default object. I found it just hard to have some kind of default object. Oh, I guess another thing is that I dropped focusing on anything other than my emotions. Later, I added the idea of feeling tone. So it's like this Buddhist concept where you know, it's basically just positive, negative, neutralness of an emotion. So I would, instead of saying fear in my head, I would say fear, negative, excitement, positive, and so on, including. So I classify excitement as positive, but desire as negative. Anyways, but the key, I guess, is that desire is negative. It's like this kind of clawing from within your heart into, yeah, anyways, the point is, it's noticing what you don't have. So the big thing there was that negative emotions, of course, are negative, right? Like, they, you know, don't feel good. But positive emotions, you know, you kind of get attached to them, and they turn negative. So the positive emotions are bad. But I kind of switched my line of reasoning on that, and the idea is that positive emotions are good, are positive, but they can create negative emotions through attachment. So the idea is that positive is essentially equivalent to potential attachment, whereas negative emotions are equivalent to attachment. All suffering comes from attachment. So yeah, so now instead of actually saying fear in my head, I say attachment. Instead of saying anger in my head, I say attachment. Instead of saying desire in my head, I say attachment. Instead of saying excitement, I say potential attachment. Instead of saying appreciation, I say potential attachment. Instead of saying, oh, this is funny, or I just say funny in my head. I say potential attachment. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing now, and it's interesting. Yeah. So I think it focuses a bit more on the kind of source of the suffering rather than the kind of, like, when I talk about fear, it's when you say fear, you just think about how you're just noticing your own fear. But if you say attachment, you don't have to dive into it, right? But if you do, kind of semi-subconsciously, you realize that you're really attached to something positive that you're afraid to lose. And so the focus kind of becomes more on that attachment rather than that kind of than the noticing of potential loss, which is what that fear is. Okay, anyways, enough enough about that. I just wanted to note that. Yeah, I'm trying to get to Watson Lake today, and it's pretty windy, so and generally against me, and it's slow and annoying, and I'm noticing a lot of attachment to wanting to get to Watson Lake. Hi everybody, welcome to the Yukon. Yeah, so it's just a bunch of stickers and stuff. That's pretty cool. So I think, I don't know, so we'll be going kind of in and out of the Yukon, right? Because that's what the road does. It goes like into BC and into the Yukon, and yeah. So we'll see if we get more signs or not. We'll see how that works. We are now at a place called Contact Creek. So basically there were some workers coming from the Yukon, and workers working on the highway coming from the south, and they met and made contact at Contact Creek. I just saw another buffalo, bison, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I haven't seen one for a while. I'm just kind of coming over a hill, and I see snowy white peaks in the very distance. So I wonder when I'll be getting to those. Yeah, there's a bunch on the horizon. I'm sure you have to look like really closely to even see them. Okay, we got some buffalo again. I see at least 4. Just have to be careful. Okay, they're getting up. Pretty normal. Are they running away? I don't like how that one's not doing anything. Okay, I don't know where he went. Oh no, into the forest. Into the forest. Good, good. That's what we like to see. Okay, so I'm about less than 15k, I think, from Watson Lake. This is just some... I'm trying to show you a river, but you can't really see it. Over there, there's a river. Anyways. So I'm in a place, I think 12 or 11k from Watson Lake, and there's lots of information here. Here, you know, we talk about the 60th parallel. This is a cool map. So the 60th parallel is where, you know, Canada gets kind of, you know, cut almost in half. Here it shows like where else the 60th parallel intersects. Some facts about the 60th parallel is that in the longest day of the year there's 19 hours, and the shortest day there's 6 hours. Yeah. Yeah, here's some information. The border actually used to be on the 62nd parallel and was moved down to the 60th. Yeah. You know, originally there was this portion of land called the Northwest Territories, and it included present-day Yukon, Alberta, Saskatchewan, as well as part of the Northwest Territories, Nunavut, and Ontario, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, Newfoundland, and Labrador, and so on. There's the native people around here are called the Kaska, and there's lots more information about them. Did I even read this? Yeah, I think I did. I'm not sure if I did. Okay, well, here's some stuff about the Dawson expedition. You could read this if you want. Dawson City, we're gonna go to later. Apparently, it's right now it's a popular spot for young people to go work during the summer. Yeah, so here's a little bit about the indigenous people here, the Cascaden. Casca language. What could I tell you? I could tell you that they I don't know, there's lots of stuff here, but at one point they, everything changed when the highway was built. Yeah, so they kind of migrated at some point. There's some more information about trading posts. See, I want to get to and yeah, more about the Kaska people, right? See, I want to get to Watson Lake before it gets dark. That's why I'm rushing here. Okay. Hope that was good for you. There's another Yukon sign. It's pretty cool. Very good. Moving on. Welcome everybody to Watson Lake, gateway to the Yukon.